Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, Leilani Barbados. If you haven't yet, please do me a favor and subscribe, press the like button. We are going to have a lot going on this week. There's a lot of content, a lot for me to talk about. I have so many ideas. So please subscribe now so you can see what I'm doing. As you can see, the title is about titles. I don't think Archie and Lilibet are going to get their titles. I said that Meghan just had to wait until Prince Charles became King Charles, but I'm going to read how this is very difficult to explain, so I'm going to try to break it down in this article. Harry and Meghan's children become Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. Not necessarily, but let's get into it. Following the death of the Queen, Harry and Meghan's children have become His Royal Highness Prince Archie of Sussex and Her Royal Highness Princess Lilibet of Sussex. The change is a result of the conventions created over a century ago. That's the George V convention we know about, and they keep harping on the fact that Meghan Markle did not even know whether it was George V or George VI when she did the Oprah interview, which was £9 million. And like, wouldn't you actually know that? As grandchildren of King Charles III, Archie and Lilibet now have the right to be prince and princess. They have the right, whereas they did not immediately qualify as the great grandchildren of the Queen. That's not a qualification. Meghan last year made a damning suggestion that this title might be denied to Archie because of his mixed race ancestry. And then we have the entire bloodline of the British royal family tree and how everything works out. The Duchess said these comments were made at the same time as a couple were told Archie wouldn't have security or an official title. Meanwhile, right, she still wanted to become a non-working royal. So this is a classic case of you can't have your cake and eat it too. First of all, you're conflating two different issues of you working and you not working. When you don't work, you want to be out of the family, you don't want to be part of it anymore, but you are still insisting on manipulating further these articles to give your children a title which is not their right at that time when Queen Elizabeth was still living. Meghan rejected this suggestion in her interview with Winfrey, saying, "It's not our decision to make. Right?" There has been no indication that the king intends to make any changes to the convention, but there are also no indications that he doesn't need to make any changes, as they are not working royals and they are slimming down the titles, the royal family, whatever. And even some people in the royal family have chosen themselves to slim down. So why wouldn't he take the titles away? And I think he should. Okay, unless they're doing work. They want to be financially independent, she said. So then you don't need any help. You don't need any titles to help you through that. And if you don't want to be part of it, that unfortunately puts your children in that position too. So I spoke about members of the royal family choosing to slim down themselves out of it. Prince Edward. This is an article from 2018, okay? Which seems like everybody forgot about this. Why are Prince Edward's children not titled as prince and princess? It doesn't make any sense, because literally they were entitled, or they had the right to be prince and princess, as their grandmother was Queen Elizabeth, a reigning monarch. Prince Edward's statement, however, came with many surprises. First of all, it broke with a centuries-old tradition that children of the monarch were created dukes upon marriage. Prince Edward became Earl of Wessex, but the statement made clear that the royal family intended for him to be created Duke of Edinburgh after both Charles's accession and Prince Philip's death. It is also announced that the Queen decided, with the consent of both Edward and Sophie, that any children the couple might have together would not be given the style His or Her Royal Highnesses, but instead be styled as children of an earl. That makes Prince Edward's children the Queen's first male line descendants not to have royal titles. And in accordance with Her Majesty's 1960 Order in Council, they are the first to be allowed the proper use of the Mountbatten's Windsor family name. So when Edward married Sophie, it is declared any children born of this union will have this and Her Highness and whatever. And they chose not to have that even before they had children. Why? Because they thought it would be easier for their children to live normal lives without that highness title. And you might say, well, they still have the earl and the this and the duke and everything like that. How is that normal? Well, it is normal in certain circles in London. For example, in schools that they would probably have attended, like Harrow, Eton, there are lots of titled students in that school. Nikolai von Bismarck, he is the boyfriend of Kate Moss. Kate Moss's boyfriend is Nikolai von Bismarck, and he's 35 years old. He went to Harrow. He is Count Nikolai von Bismarck Schönhausen, and he was raised in central London. So you have a lot of these European titled children that attend school. So that is not uncommon, and he had a pretty normal life. He became a photographer, Nikolai, and you know, it is what it is. But he went to good school. It's a boys' school, just like Eton. So newsflash today, King Charles and his beautiful wife visited Northern Ireland today as part of their tour, and they did a whole big to-do in Scotland, and not because Scotland has North Sea oil, or not because Scotland has an amazing Scottish salmon, which I love. Scotland must feel super special right now, and not because of all those assets that they do have, but because the Queen genuinely is she's a Queen of Scots, and with her passing, Scotland, it looks like, is very dedicated to her. Except of course for this gentleman who thought it necessary to speak his mind, and I must say has a great talent for carrying his voice. He must have been a cheerleader in a lifetime or something, last lifetime, because how did he get his voice to carry over all those crowds, all those marching boots? But he made his point clear.
Disgusting! Wait, I've done nothing wrong. That powerful men should be allowed to commit sexual crimes and get away with it.
However, with all that pomp and circumstance that went into Scotland's visit, you see that when Prince Charles arrives in Northern Ireland, he's in a suit, he's no longer in his regalia, his military regalia, which I, by the way, don't think is necessary at all, you know, for your mum's funeral. Take me as I am. What's that song? Take me as I am. But like, take him as he is, like he's mourning. And so he comes in a much more toned down, and the optics on it are so important because he's toned down, he's just there in a black suit. The new king later appeared frustrated by a leaking pen during a book signing ceremony. This is also in Northern Ireland. This is when I realized that King Charles is going to be just fine as king because he's a diva and they're always fine.
Oh look, it's going everywhere. So nobody got it. Oh look, it's everywhere.
Would you consider yourself a diva?
Would I consider myself a diva? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why would you even ask me that question?
Are they going to go to the Channel Islands, where I live? Are they going to go to Guernsey, Jersey, Sark? But it was a destination, holiday destination for the royal family in the past. So hopefully they will at some point, maybe after the burial, come and check out what's going on. Isle of Man, Gibraltar. I mean, there's so many places in Europe that they haven't gone to. But I know Wales is definitely going to be next. And I don't want to say it like in any funny way, so don't take it funny. But it is a really lovely time. The weather is quite good. It's warm. In fact, my hair is so frizzy. Don't mind that. But that's because, you know, it's warm and it's nice. Which makes you think, is Queen Elizabeth II really in that coffin? No, I'm just asking for a friend. Like, is she really in that coffin? Because it's so hot. And I was thinking maybe it's refrigerated. But even if it's a refrigerator, it would then have to be followed by a generator to keep it cold. Like, how is this happening? The coffin, the honored coffin, is literally doing like a world tour of some kind. And now it's gone on a plane to London. And I didn't see any refrigeration unit. Like, I just don't see it. Maybe it's some kind of new technology. But I'm just wondering, is she in there though? Between you and me, is she really in there or is she not? Anyhow, that's just probably very crude and very morbid, and I'm probably totally out of line for saying that. So I think this video is really about, if you want to leave the royal family, you have to keep in mind that Prince Edward and Sophie are still working royals and they still gave up the titles of their children willingly. But you have to wonder how you're going to do that, also move to America, and then still want the titles. For what? And having said that, you can't be both at the same time, I must say that unprecedented, my genius Prime Minister of Barbados, Meghan Markle, somehow got it so that Barbados could still be part of the Commonwealth, but also be a republic. And Hazel keeps telling me about it, and I actually had to really think about it and research it properly because there's no precedent for it. Most countries, if they become a republic, they leave the Commonwealth and that's it, and then they have to reapply and they won't get it. Barbados is still part of the Commonwealth. Hey guys, we're not going anywhere, we're here, we can go to the Commonwealth Games, but we are a republic within the Commonwealth. Trinidad didn't get it done. Jamaica is actually trying to become a republic, and I think after Prime Minister Holness sort of did a sneak attack on William and Kate when they came there by saying, we just don't want to be part of the Commonwealth. I am pretty sure that he will not be given the same kudos to stay in the Commonwealth because of how he did it. But everybody does things differently. There's something about him in this clip that actually reminds me of my dad. I'm so happy you can't hear me saying this right now. So forgive me, Daddy. It's a hazard of the job, I think. We are who we are, and we always stay true to who we are. And having said that, please, if you really are true to yourself and you're watched this all this way through, please press the like button and don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow in another video. Lots of love. Bye.
Why did